Okay, some of y'all got that. So if you have your found poetries, thank you for participating in that. Just take a picture of those poems, because at the end when we have our, little poetry breakdown after these wonderful poets are done, then you all will come up and get to read what you have. But I just want to thank Melissa for all of the wonderful organization that you have done to make this happen. And thank you, Ace. And Megan and I will get this party started. Thank you all for coming. And thank you to these wonderful poets for taking the time to be up here and share with us today. I can't wait to hear what you all have prepared, so thank you. And I think I'm first with the first poet. No? Okay. You? All right. So an applause for Megan Holt. Megan Holt with a cute jumper on.
Yeah, Megan.
Hello, hello. All right, so I'm Megan. I'll be one of your MCs this evening along with Denise, and I'm going to get right into it. So Prince loved educators. One of my absolute favorite Prince videos is Prince before he was Prince. At 11 years old, this archival footage was just unearthed a few years ago. And it's him speaking about the Minneapolis teacher strike when he was 11 years old. And he says, I think you should give them more money. Still true. Thank you, 11-year-old Prince, for that. And then later on in the Most Beautiful Girl in the World video, he features an educator, Marva Collins, in that video. So he knew the educators, he loved the educators, he understood their importance. And that's why it is appropriate to start this evening with an educator, Lisa Saloy. Not only is she an educator, but in some of her poetry, she writes about the educators who mentored her. Lisa Saloy was the Louisiana Poet Laureate from 2021 to 2023. She's the author of 3 books, Red Beans and Rice Yours, Second Line Home, and Black Creole Chronicles, poems, which is the One Book, One New Orleans selection for this year. She is also the Conrad and Hilton Endowed Professor of English at Dillard University. She's writing on Bob Kaufman, she's doing all the things, she's traveling around bringing poetry to where no poetry has been accessible before. And we are so honored to welcome Dr. Lisa Saloy to the stage.
Welcome, everybody. A little taste of New Orleans in the season. 7th Ward Daily Fare, or a Black Creole talk. In the Crescent City, we live on the inside of good luck, the right side of blessings. Past front steps and porches, we're giving thanks and praying town. Contrary to popular opinion, there's more churches than bars. Annually, we count the storms missing us. Laugh and thank you, Lord, for another safe season. And in the middle of smiles, we see each other. Wish y'all well, until we chew the fat on the gallery again. Hey, he looks like Uncle Brother. No, he looks like Jesse Hill. Who that? Mr. Ubu Baba do himself. Oh, they did that dude bad. Buried in Holt Cemetery. What? Potter's Field. No lie, that's Kapu. Black Creole for bad luck. Uh-oh, got a step. Need to find a stump to fit the rest of my rump. Chew some pecans later. Amen. Oh, I wanna tell you about ooh-ooh-ba-doo. You know they call me the most. Ooh-ooh-ba-doo. You know they call me the most. And I won't stop trying till I create a disturbance in your mind. Jesse Hill. Yeah. These are 2 poems. They're called Pride Apology 1 and 2. Pride Apology Poem 1 for Cokie and all. To those of you still undercover, to those of you still wondering, to those of you proudly out, to those of you afraid of being outed, to those of you made to feel ashamed at any moment in your life, to those of you ever embarrassed by family, ignorant of your right to live your life as you see fit, I apologize to you. I apologize for ignorance inflicted by and on each age like peach fuzz, cloaked as hard-shell coconut skin, the arrogance of rotting teeth smiling through veneers. I'm ashamed for them, and me guilty of falling for great lies, fear of the unknown, painted as truth. Generations taught that soft men were punks or faggots or ginny women, somehow cheap imitations, missing the point, missing the young man or women whose fragile life folds under the weight of fake bravado, ignorant of cruelty inflicted by each slur, like butch or dyke or mannish girls, smashing confidence or feelings of the innocent. I am sorry for any such thought. Sorry for my first 25 years of darkness. Sorry for any hurtful opinion. Sorry for any verbal strike. Sorry for past ignorance. Sorry for any slight. For the years of hate bombing my brain, bleeding into words not mine, dripping like the mess it stirred into my soul. You are whole, whoever, however you may be. You are more than worthy of life, love, pride. I pray you understand that I did not know, could not know until realizing that I too am denied, dismissed, devalued by church, by his story, by ignorance. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. I honor your life, I honor your choice. I am sorry for not knowing, for playing a sick part in a sad game. Today, I celebrate you for all you are and will be. God bless you. Proud apology too for Koki. After Katrina wiped me out of books, clothes, manuscripts, research, roof, shifting from coast to coast for work and learning to rebuild, navigating architects, a series of builders, an engineer or two between moves from rentals in other cities, then home to NOLA again finally, when Ms. Zelita agreed to rent me her upper room for cleaning, cooking, keeping her. But I said yes, rent as well, since I'd have to pay anywhere I stayed. Plus, I was working steady, still professor with summers off, and I'd cut the grass, nurture her irises and roses, even the potted plants. She was living alone, her kids grown with family and work of their own. I'd stop to chat with her, always holding court on her lovely front porch, framed in red brick and azaleas. She watched me care for my dad and passed some time chatting of days when I was a kid. I helped her weed her garden, when Iris, her youngest, only wanted to play anything. Well, long before Katrina winds passed, when all the levees broke, drowning our beloved Crescent City, then coating Hardin Park in 6 rows of trailers, 10 deep, housing cops, firefighters, city workers, gone all day, leaving unattended teens to run rough ways over empty and drowned homes like mine, so bored. Daily they broke the newly painted brick steps framing our perfectly paved cement porch that housed all our summer games of jacks and paddleball and hopscotch to an audience of siblings, cousins, neighbors. These kids with no adult eyes on them breaking out window and door sills with no regard to the well-crafted cypress doors or pine floors inside. There I was, landing in the front of the Lear home with all my worldly goods in my red Toyota 4Runner and Miss Zelita's adult kids saying, not here. But I changed my address, had rent in my hands, here to help. No. Officially houseless, I rolled my truck across the street to our gutted family double with broken steps and cried for the first time since the storm. I called my brother, my cousin Dee, who grew up here too, who hosted me in Big Sis each spring when we visited from Baton Rouge, my grad school days of researching kids lore or following the Fitch kids, their friends, or capturing adult male toasts from the neighborhood griots. I could barely speak describing my shock. Dee said, come over here. You got people, don't worry. I could eat, rest, hunt for lodgings, thankful to be safe, welcome another mouth in the kitchen, but neither Concon or Dee would take a dime from me. You, sweet crooner of harmonies in the great tradition of Dad D and Two Grands Mush, a deep baritone swag like autumn leaves start to fall. His postman days, or Herbert's senior bricklayer by day who played stride piano, the whole keyboard while courting ears with melodies. You were home for a visit, checking on family. We were all so proud of all you did, holding on to every recap of recent gigs, then making wall art for a paint company and restoring plaster architectural features, placing gold foil onto historic Capitol buildings, doing real good, making good bucks. Your arms now buffed to muscle, a grown man, bearing little resemblance to that almost narrow teen choreographing Perlita Street Kids performances for Jazz Fest or the Folk Life Fest or the 6 o'clock TV news crew. You always had with them strong swag, a song in your spirit, but that large earring dangling, shining against your face. Oh, we all embraced you with joy, glad to have you home, and me oblivious to the grown you. Crack, what's with that big earring, dude? Makes you look like a Jenny woman. No matter my always protective intent, no matter my ignorance of the newly grown you, when the silence in the room slapped all talk shut, and I still had no clue until you looked down to the floor, and our joy strangled by my stupidity. It hurts me still that my cheeky words cut your smile out for even a flash. I'm sorry. If I could take that moment back, I would. By the time you brought your handsome boyfriend home, and you two so happy and all of us happy for you both, finally, hindsight taught me how cruel that moment. I'm so sorry. If I could take that moment back, I would. Words crush or build or comfort or kill. I'm sorry. If I could take that moment back, I would. Forgive me. I feel for you, and I think I love you. Thank you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. Opening up the space for all of us today. Thank you all for joining. I have the pleasure of introducing Christian. So Christian was born in New Orleans and raised in Baton Rouge. In 2022, he graduated from the University of New Orleans, was a featured reader of Lit?
Yeah.
Okay, yes. And was a recipient of the Ryan Shigisola, Memorial Scholarship for Poetry. A year later, he participated in the New Orleans Poetry Festival as one of the local featured readers, alongside poets such as Nikki Ummel, Cameron Lovejoy, and Mae Nicholson and Bernardo Wade. While he has not published any poems, you can occasionally find him at poetry events hosted by Tilted House each new moon or at Cafe Istanbul's open mic every Wednesday night. And he likes rum and favors men who like cats.
Usually I like to print out the poems that I read because technology can be so reliable and so there's like no service. But to me, when I was thinking of prints, what comes to mind? Well, sick beats, sick flow. During his early periods, a little raunchy, and consistently romantic, and also this sense of yearning. I came up with a few things, but first I'd like to read Himbo Me Please. Himbo Me Please. Observe the exhaust in my eyes after telling me he's straight. Inquire about the night before. Our lips locking pipe beneath a wide purple sky. When will I see you again? My reply, gone with the wind, of course, gone to another boy. This boy, a man, 30s, well-groomed, ex-military, miniature chihuahua. Yes, they exist. A hottie committed to being unwed. He gets it, you don't. Tan and aggressively lonely from all the looks. He says he hates attention. Eyes from the bar constellate, elevating him. A new planetary obsession. Simple attire, wife beater, muscles, joggers, print. It's the little things. Don't be a stranger, he says. I forget how a man can be beautiful and heartless. This one is untitled. There we lied in 21st century sun. Sheets untucked, unmade, after peeling back layers of clothes, ourselves made vulnerable and exposed to the roommate who may or may not knock when she enters. I think of unrealistic things. There is no argument to disarm the irrational thoughts I succumb to. Thought interrupted, the yawn of life, and we're both awake. He suggests tea, English breakfast, or Earl Grey. I say anything goes, but sprinkle it with honey. Out comes London fog. Picture me sitting pretty, milk and honey held tightly. I think of the night before, how much of it is a blur. A poster of Howe's castle pulls me in, his walking fortress galloping across hills toward me. The hills panned out endlessly. Its incursion never ending, while dead LED lights encircle us indifferently. Perchance, we traverse lands like that duo, dispelling every wicked curse put on us. Like for every time we were told, you're so mature for your age, we TP a house or moon a stranger in an effort to reclaim our youth. Would you like to watch the news? Of course. Color us fantastical. I think of how growing old sometimes makes us young again. A hand of years from centenarian, my adopted mom of the silent generation was recently widowed. She feels for this. These roaring 20s are filled with uncertainty too. How it must feel to soar and get your wings clipped. She'll tell you. How funerals are more popular than birthday parties this year. He crashes into bed, spilling fog everywhere. I think of nothing but our naked bodies. How occasionally I feel free while my chin is shackled to the nape of his stubbled neck. The eyes follow a path past the jewels to the black kudzu on his legs, our legs uncomfortably but magically intertwined like snakes. He shuffles through channels. One hand strums his fur chest like a guitar. One hand rests. I think of all the morning afters, how on Friday nights he says he wishes I was there under neon and moonlight. And when I was there, the morning after was unlike velvet. And we refused to slip out of bed, refused to call in as time pranced on, the intention of attending work absent. I was all smitten and rebellious back then. Now I'm just all between. Tell me I'm yours. He says, democracy now? I think of Plato's cave, how I'm prisoner to this embrace, and this oasis we're enshrined in. The shadows on the wall, pixels on TV, the light show on the floor reduced to mindfuck, the shadows drowned out, nondescript yet yearning acknowledgement. His hand goes over mine. On goes Amy Goodman. Death toll, 7,000, nearly 3,000 children. Israel intentionally starving Gaza's 2.3 million residents. Horrific. I think of Palestine. Borders of their land evaporate like the shores of every coast. The course has been long. this land of milk and honey, soiled from above by airstrike and gunpowder and carpet bombs. Activists saying ceasefire now and no genocide as they were placed in plastic handcuffs. Where is humanity? The dead baby's prospects turned martyr. I think of my privilege. I think that is it for me. Yeah.
All right, y'all. Thank you very much, Christian. So, Prince. As we know, Prince was not afraid to stand up for what was right. When he felt that he was being mistreated by Warner Brothers, yes, that's an understatement, right? He changes his name to the unpronounceable symbol. He writes the word slave on his face. He enters into an on and off again 18-year battle that just ended 10 years ago in 2014. And eventually he gets his master's. And like Prince, this next poet is also not afraid to stand up for what's right and say what needs to be said, even when there's a little controversy. José Torres-Tama.
Yes.
Most notably stands up for the rights of undocumented Latin American workers on Latino USA from 2006 to 2011. He was on that NPR show quite frequently. That's also the subject of his forthcoming book, documenting the undocumented, Immigrants and Photography of Post-Katrina Protests 2010 to 2019. He's usually on the road. We're actually very lucky to have him, and I know he'll be on the road with his upcoming spoken word show. I believe it's titled The United States of Amnesia. Did I get that right? All right. So without further ado, let's welcome to the stage José Torres-Tama.
Gracias. Thank you, Megan. I was so excited when Megan reached out to me because I'm a big fan of Prince. And just to let you know, before my time, DJ Soul Sister, I was there all the time, dancing. Megan and I were talking about dancing on that furious floor at Mimi's, the second part to that James Brown funk, thinking at any point in time, these sweaty bodies can drop onto the first floor. Because we were funking it up. I'm just saying. So I was there, darling, I was there. And when the neighbors complained, I was like, fuck. It's DJ Soul Sister, we're funking it up.
We miss Mimi. We miss
We miss Mimi's, absolutely. And I knew Mimi personally because Mimi's was a place where we also engaged with activist meetings post-Katrina. That's where it took place. Because, you know, meeting at bars and coffee houses right across the street of Flores, that was what we did. So I'm grateful to be here. And this is, you know, there's a number of albums, but Love Sexy is one of my favorites. So this is called When Sporting Purple, Love Sexy. All right, so this is got a little bit of funk, a little bit of lyrics, and my time should begin now. All right, here we go. With Cerulean, a close second, Purple was always my favorite. With Sade being our premier foreplay songstress, Prince was cued close to next Love Sexy level. With my Honduran-born Cuban tortured love sporting her raspberry beret she actually bought at a secondhand store just for our bad war y nada más, because we wore it in bed. Revealing chocolate-like bronze Miami raised hips, flying us to never done that before land. Another noche cubana con sabor de amor y lujuria, and if you are bilingually challenged, que pena. Because when doves cry, with 3 rum and cokes, I ran the pool table at Giovanni's bar in the lower quarter. Rosa in La Cubana Deliciosa rewarded me beyond $5, 8 balls in corner or side pockets plunked for victory. We played Latino lovers hungry, not made for puritanical TV movies or roles or any films. Can't talk about that. Her Esplanade Avenue shotgun, only 3 blocks walking while we tongued our drunk way back. When artists, poets, bohemians afforded rents in the Vieux Carré, though there ain't much French about the Spanish Quarter. I'm just saying, rebuilt by Iberian colonials, free people of color, caste, and African sweat enslaved in common red bricks of history. After 2 fires near 9 years apart in the late 1800s, calling it French Quarter is a misnomer. Ow! That white lies persist in celebrated books, and tourists walking tours make lies come true. I'm just saying, ow! Can't talk about that. Purple in my gay color of my current performance persona, a Baron Samedi Loa, who guides you to the underground and possesses power to review above ground living. Maybe it's too bold or not bold enough to be satisfied. But hearing early guitar licks drops you in the electric funk where Jimi Hendrix rose from the grave in the 80s again. Come on now. Ow! You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying it. And James Brown get on up funk groove reached new audible heights by a young blood brother whose paisley soul redefined gender beyond the pride we celebrate today. When we played Dearly Beloved, steeped in beyond indoctrinating the Catholicism of Latino Americans, because if you know you're Catholic, you're like Catholic squared Latino. Irish Catholic, Italian Catholic, Polish Catholic, you very Catholic. Rosa was one, and we sinned unmarried to our heaven's delight. So dig if you will, we love to love sexy Spanglish in her lower quarter shotgun shack, edging it on with unkept promises. I don't care, pretty baby, just take me with you. Dig if you will. Rosa was Oshun and Kali simultaneously, like Prince was Jimmy and James incarnate. Y era una locura deliciosa con sudor de amor y desesperación por más y más. And if you are bilingual challenged, qué pena. But get a tutor who sweats love in Spanish. Each drop you dare to lick will expand your vocabulary. Maybe open your pores further when heat and humidity has neared the century mark in such altered divine carnal states of naked flesh. I threw down violets in bloom, because when we channeled courage enough with each other, thrust deeping our animals encaged, and Rosa struck curious poses for love, sexy, caliente copulation in a world that's just too cold. Maybe I'm too demanding, but no paramour since has come close. So dig if you will. This is what sounds like when doves cry. For Rosa, another poem she scripts, threw me beyond the mortal border, crossed many moons ago when she walked in through the outdoor and wore that raspberry beret and not much more. Choked on a mojito, bitch. I'm serious, I only had one. When she walked in through the outdoor and wore that raspberry beret and not much more, when it stormed outside, we hurricaned inside my balcony bedroom with all lamps and sconces shining red like district bright. With unfettered funk possessed by duende kisses, submerged in rum and coke-infused purple orgasms. I'm just saying, I can't even talk about half of it. Her poison was Long Island iced teas. I crawled for her after she crawled for me. Once upon a time, Rosa was my bad religion. I've been trying to get some church in my dreams to get back to her. So dearly beloved, when wearing purple rain, find yourself steeped in regal remembering. Sade was the foreplay. Prince was for the grind. I'm just saying. Thank you for hosting this. It's simply amazing to be here. Prince was so mind-bending in so many ways that when he passed, I wore the shit out of that Love Sexy tape. This Alphabet City is one of my favorite songs. And all the last 3 days, I'm just playing Purple Rain and When Doves Cry. As soon as you hear those guitar licks, right, you just know that. And literally with Rum and Cokes, that song came on, and I used to run the table at Giovanni's bar for $5 a pop. So thank you. That's it.
I am very excited to introduce Nikki Ummel. Yes, wonderful. Nikki is a queer artist, editor, and educator in New Orleans. Nikki has been published or has worked forthcoming with Gulf Coast, the Georgia Review, Black Lawrence Press, and others. She is the 2022 recipient of the Leslie McGrath Poetry Prize and 2023 recipient of the Juxtaprose Poetry Award for her manuscript, Bloom. Nikki is the co-founder of LMNL, an arts organization focused on readings, workshops, and residencies. She has 2 poetry chapbooks, Hush and Bayou Sonata, funded by the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation. And you can find her on the web at www.nikkiyummel.com. Welcome, Nikki.
All right, how's the volume? Good? Fantastic. I get really loud, so if you're like, my ears, just let me know. Hi, I'm Nikki. I'm really happy to be here today. Thank you, Megan, for inviting me. Thank you, DJ Soul Sister, for having this amazing event. Like Jose, I've spent a lot of time sweaty, listening to you make amazing music. Actually, Megan invites me pretty much every time you have a set, so thank you, Megan, for that. I appreciate that Christian, Mona Lisa have lifted up that it's Pride Month. That means a lot. Actually, there's no Pride readings happening this month, which is a little insane. The library had an event on Thursday, and that's it. So if you want to come to a Pride event, there's one on June 26th. Me and a couple friends are going to throw it. If you want to read, show up, or come see me afterwards. We would love to host you, to feature you, if that is important to you. It's for allies as well. Pride's for everybody. And speaking of that, thank you, Christian, for lifting up Gaza. There is no pride in genocide, and we are so lucky to be able to meet together like this to celebrate art and love and Prince. And that's not possible everywhere in our world. It's not possible everywhere in our country. So we are very lucky to be here now. This first poem speaking of Purple Rain, incorporates several lyrics from the song. You don't want to hear me sing them. There's a lot of things that I do well, and carrying a tune is not one of them. So instead of putting that on Prince's name, I just want you to listen for the lyrics. And if you're a big fan of Purple Rain, then you will probably catch them. So the title of this poem is I Never Meant to Cause You Pain. My mother said this to me long before I knew the refrain or the symbol of the man who shed his own name. And what my mother meant by I only want was that she knew what it meant to crave. freewheeling need for more life and someone to see her, to hold her hair back on the bad nights and wipe the sweat and the shakes away. Someone somewhere who will choose to live because so many of her someones had not, their names spilling into the street before my brother could shut the door. I never meant to cause you any sorrow. I never meant to cause you any pain. What is love but a prolonged leaving? Her weekend lovers were not friends, and the shame did not wait for endings. Something new, she hummed, packing the Pontiac, believing herself a leader, a seeker of futures. And us kids wedged between luggage, small smudges against wet windows, watched our sidewalk chalk families, bright as the smiling sun, birthed out of those bad nights. We watched them melt in the puddles of pink, yellow, and purple rain. So this next poem is a golden shovel, which means the end of every line forms, traditionally it's a line from another poem, but in this case it's going to be a line from When Doves Cry. So I'll read my poem and then I'll read the lyric after. It's called The Last Time You Came Home. Your trailing skirt emits hushed, silent yeses. After all this time, how do you still beckon me from my seething place? Can you see it, my feel-good girl? I am wet tongue, I am all hands. You unmoor me. Paint me with your skin, your size. What rage had I? Just tongue and hands and fists balled in prayer. Leave me to my prayers, to my hands on my own lips. Lead me to God who is near. When you are here in the doorway standing, you round the corner to my room, our room. Throw a parting hip swish. I do not need to be alone to feel lonely. My faithful feet follow, my faithful feet betray. In my pocket, the shredded petals you left, your final act, the last I'm sorry bouquet. A reminder. Baby, pluck these petals from my pocket. Remnants of who we were a world ago. Let me under your skirts for more silent yeses, petal kisses. That's all we've ever needed. That's all we've ever been. So swallow hard your promises that always leave me cold, but do not hush for me. And the original lyric is, how can you just leave me standing alone in a world that's so cold? So this is called A Catalog of Kisses. Kiss is my favorite song by Prince. I know that might be a little cliche, but I have like a pump up playlist where like it could be the worst day ever, but if I listen to these 20 songs, it immediately puts me in an amazing place, and Kiss is one of those songs for me. So this is called A Catalog of Kisses, and it's a duplex, which means the refrains kind of repeat, but there's like a little twist, so you'll see what I mean by that. He said, leave it up to me, and leaned in. I dimmed the lights inside myself. She dimmed the lights inside her house as her roommate's cat Trouble stalked the shadows. I don't want any trouble, the man from the shadows, wide-eyed and awful, whispered through my window. Window wide, her awful eyes demanding, why me, why mine, get your own damn wife. Me and mine, Tuesdays and Thursdays, always one last time, a final supper, our mouths cupped, silent prayers. Prayer is not silence, it's a safe house. Her hands are my church, my wisdom, and my home. The body has a wisdom of its own. I lean in to steal another kiss. I have one more, but I do have a little book, so if you like what you hear, come see me after. I'd love to give you one. All right, listening to Prince's I Would Die For You while running in Manchester. A toddler toes the canal, A boat called Perky sells coffee. The path sun dappled. Naughty Jared Maynard. Ooh, I can say that. Hold on. I'm gonna start over. A toddler tows the canal. A boat called Perky sells coffee. The path sun dappled. Naughty Gerard Manley Hopkins, I take this word from you, send you to the corner. Though once I stuffed your poems in my mouth and called it worship. Back when I bore the nickname Nikki Christ. And only once in 10 years have I prayed. Running through Orlando's terminal sea, I wagered God my belief for an open gate. And that night I kneeled on the names of old Hollywood stars, Aubrey, Goldie, Tallulah, not Marilyn, no, her unhappiness sister to mine. Later I dreamt of coffee bean airplanes, Prince in the sky, his lips dappled with light. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you started by saying, if you want to read, come talk. Because if any of you guys want to read after this, please see the lovely DJ Soul Sister. She has a clipboard and you can sign up for open mic. There it is. We know you have a Prince poem in you somewhere. All right, so he inspires poetry. He was a lyricist. He was a producer. He was an arranger. He was a composer. He played, I think the last count was 27 instruments, although it's rumored to have been a few more or a few less. But maybe this next poet can tell us definitively, because he's a Prince scholar who also worked with Prince. And like Prince, Liegh McInnis does all the things. Not only is he a Prince scholar and a poet, he is also a short story writer. He's a retired educator from Jackson State University. He's a former editor and publisher. He is the author of 8 books, including 4 collections of poetry, a collection of short stories, and a work of literary criticism titled The Lyrics of Prince, A Literary Look. I have that book, it's phenomenal, it should be the Prince Bible. And on that note, I'm going to bring up Liegh McInnis. Woo!
As everyone else, thank you to DJ Soul Sister for putting this together. Please give her a hand. A lot of people don't know I've been coming to New Orleans as a poet and short story writer probably since 1996. So I always have to give a shout out to one of my forebears of poetry. The good spirit brother right here, please give him a hand. He's also and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Columbia Salam and Amos Zubalti. So I have to pay homage when I'm in New Orleans to the people who paved the way for me to do what I do. This first poem I wrote on April 21st, 2016. And it's simply titled, We Be Purple Hippies. We be purple hippies cause we smoke dreams laced with stainless steel integrity. We wear midnight black creativity and snow white fearlessness wrapped around us like a pinstripe zoot suit. We bang our heads on the one to chocolate ideas that's been dipped in liquid funkadelic. See, money be that AIDS, always introducing death to our system. So we do the splits in a split second whenever fishy smiles with greasy palms try to slap us on our back while picking us of our pockets of the soil that their soul is too barren to grow. We be purple hippies because we ride buses with 2 seats that swim on water rather than seats. Yeah, we understand that Noah's boat didn't have no Jim Crow seating capacity, so we bypass frigid and fragmented fools too frozen in the clutches of race to punch their freedom ticket in time. We be paisley parking cause whiteness may be the winning number to a lotto card of plastic dreams, but they be melting under the rock shower swirling from the truth the day that the last pebble of their sun left their hourglass emptier longer than their cloudy minds would allow them to realize. So if a bloody justice in a resurrection blue sky give birth to royalty, then Revelations provided a prophecy of a purple rain long before a pimped out poet and pumps played in your ear hole. But iron hearts rust too quickly when they try to oil themselves with greenbacks rather than soaking themselves with sugar cane and hoods. We be purple hippies cause we read the word before he was ripped from the sky, and understand that we be spiritual feet temporarily tap dancing in Stacey Adams before the curtain for the Act 4 dropped them 1,000 years on us. That's why we shine in Technicolor that piss off peacocks. We be playing in the sunshine, not worried about them sound of the times, cause a dirty mind ain't always nasty. Like a revolution got to have some spilled sons and daughters for Margaret's new earth to finally become a phoenix. So let's break the dam with liberation soon, making love under a cherry moon. We be purple hippies cause we snort plum and peach possibilities, though our lungs be filled with raspberry freedom so that we can baptize ourselves in water pregnant with the nutrients fortified with the big vein of the Most High getting down on the one. We be purple hippies cause we be allergic to cliques and posses and sets and crews that chew life from the freedom seekers trying to mangle them into mindless masters and mass thinkers. We got 89 flowers in our hearts rather than on our back, and that's why we can use our cotton picking hands to hug heaven into you rather than choke the life of gold from you. We be purple hippies cause we be higher than your fat top liberations cause keeping it real is mostly the mission statement of a gatekeeper waiting on somebody to give them the keys. We be badder than a caramel camel squeezing through the eye of a needle cause we got naked before it was fashionable cause heaven ain't no place for a spirit covered in a man-made suit of lies. See, this trip and a half has been for you, made by a dude named Prince with his sometime dirty mind, causing much controversy, walking toward the dawn after the passing of 1999 when purple rain flooded us into a parade that marches us around the world in the day. We be checking for them sign of the times because we learned how to live, love, sexy. Now he be one of them rainbow children, eternally free. Thank you. The title of this poem is simply Music Is. Music is the palpitating, pulsating personification of woodpeckers and waterfalls and odors that be lingering like fog or freshly far baked, illuminating the back to the one. It is the middle sea of the universe. It is the baritone beating of humanity's red organ marking time through the revolving indoor intervals of life and death. The last beat sending you to the depths of the great beyond. It is the falsetto of melodic mockingbirds, boozing blue jays, and rocket robin swaying the branches of life trees, ciphering and muse from the improvisation of loaded blueberries. It is the alto of winds rustling wildly through magnolias or waves smacking beach backsides doing seaside salvation. It is the thunderous bass of lightning snapping and crackling like new songs in the ears of old listeners. It is the theloniously silent space played at intervals between the upbeat of what we think and the downbeat of what we do. It is the well-regulated 4-bar blues of 4 seasons marking the time of man. It is the never-ending circular 7-day scale which keeps flowers going despite the tragic opera of sweet streakers, free bases, and hungry bleeding bellies. It is the involuntary tears raging and rolling like dammed up rivers unwilling to be dammed up any longer. It is the sacred and the profane fornicating and consummating at the same time, in the same time, on the same beat. It is the tense but fluid dichotomy of being X and Y. It is the fire that fuels the constant flaming question of why we are here and did we come to get down? It is the voice of heaven shining the light on the cave of hell. It is God providing the talent and turmoil providing the opportunity to be great, where sexual healing cures spiritual afflictions and public enemies sample purple passions because we're all entrapped in the body politic. It is the collective call of the ancestors and the novel response of the individual. It is the civil war between form and soul, where a mathematically enslaved left hand fights a rhythmic war with an emotionally liberated right hand. Music is the salt in our tears. It is the sperm on the egg of our lives. It is the dance of birth and death. It is the symphonic jazzification of a rocking life. It is African phonemes planted in the soil of European syntax, creating colorful semantics in the rainbow language. Music is the street vernacular of an old woman with rusty knees and sandpaper hands, whispering volcanically to a God who rests in the pit of her heart and sings her a lullaby of earthly peace and heavenly mansions. Music is the bloody lifeline back to itself, where a wonder named Stevie can make popular the beat of sable arts by staying focused on the key of life, while a scraggly voiced Rolling Stone from Minneapolis can proclaim a brown-eyed Detroit hummingbird with the head of black waves, America's greatest bard. It is where an androgynous King Richard of Macon can give birth to 2 sons, the hardest working soul brother on the planet and a voodoo child in an acid rain house. It is where Muddy Waters can give birth to Rolling Stones. It is where an inspirational, instructional Love Supreme can give birth to a verbal movement of ebony arts. It is where a Nutbush, Tennessee queen of rock can shine a light for Detroit's queen of soul. It is where Baby Baby can be as spiritually profound as Lord, Lord. where Solomon's son can anthologize a book of shepherd's blues, where Highway 61 and Highway 49 became a womb, so the whole nation reconstruction's illegitimate children can purge their souls of spoiled promises, where royalty rises regally from the bowels of serfs and slaves, wielding work songs in the spirituals and weaving blues in the gospels, as New Orleans began to swing and Harlem's new Negro began to bop. Then a white boy with a funny name was anointed with the blood of backwoods gospel, shook his pale booty on television, freeing every conservative in the world from the crippling cancer of their supremacist ideology, where Motown ambassadors were the first freedom writers, where otherness is the mainstream, where Delta Pains can create English Beatles, where only music you can be black on the radio, white on the video, and a PTY can be gained and voice of ghetto versification, for music can take out well-defined blacks and whites and create a kaleidoscope of beautifully blended grays that give life to Roy G. Biv and his endless possibilities despite our fears and make us unnaturally monochromatic. If a pale peacock is an oxymoron, then music then lets us know that racism is unnatural, as a tiger hating his stripes or a leopard bleaching his spots to hang with the lions. What is music? It is when integration, crippled with the hemlock of Jim Crow, produces hip-hopping revolutionaries pissed off about being lied to again, and their stinging words are heavy with the baggage of their parents' broken dreams, and bad checks are now sharpened urban daggers that pierce America's gut like crushed glass in our baby food, cutting our insides like shrapnel. Yet rap becomes the fertile vomit that can fertilize our evolution if we can get past the stank bitterness of the belly's natural regurgitation of a spoiled age. What is music? It is the truth that hides inside our lives, our Freudian slips that slide down the hierarchy of our needs. It is our melodic memories of yesterday's jams and our syncopated hope of the future grooves, bridged by our reverberating riffs of surviving today. It is the light of our day and the black of our night. It is the fertile if in life that impregnates reality into an endless butterfly effect, so that we may be briefly consumed with our utopian selves and sleep better while passing through this physical perdition. Thank you.
Wow. That was earth-shattering. Thank you. I can go home now. Wow. I have the pleasure of introducing an inspiration of mine too, actually, Dr. Denise Graves and Mama Carol Bebelle. So please give both of them a round of applause. So, a New Orleans native, co-founder and former executive director of the Ashe Cultural Arts Center. Please give that a round of applause. Mama Carol Bebelle, a constant voice and advocate for the primal role of culture in establishing equity, justice, and compassion in all of society. This learning and insight was derived from her first career in human service planning that spanned 2 decades. Her day-to-day laboratory for this work for 21 years has been the Ashe Cultural Arts Center, where the day-to-day was created by the intersection of culture, community, and art. Her new platform is Aqua Productions NOLA, where her artist self is more present in her efforts, which makes me so excited. And now to just also mention Dr. Denise Graves, who is here. Please give her also a round of applause. A very inspiring New Orleans leader, community pastor who employs applied education techniques to build the kingdom of God on earth through personal coaching, spiritual counseling, and organizational consulting. She engages theological underpinnings, social context comparatives, and life healing intent to speak to the heart of God's people. So welcome, Dr. Denise Graves and Mama Carol. Thank you for being here.
I want to start off by thanking the producers here for putting this together. I think that there's a thin veil between the living and the spirit world, and I'm certain that Prince might be checking us out today. So thank you so much for doing this. And because it's Sunday, and he was always inside of the pursuit of his best spiritual self, we're going to be working in partnership in doing this. And Reverend Denise Graves is going to bring the word, and I'll have a little something to add in.
A legacy in remembrance of Prince by Carol Bebelle, aka Akua. It is through a conspiracy of the divine with the creative coupling of humans that we all start our life journey. The gift of life combines with nature and nurture to bring forward our human existence. The act of creation provides us with a unique compilation of gifts on our life journey. It becomes our purpose, our adventure, to bring forward our individual unique selves. He came, small and fragile, brooding eyes, heartful mind, adventuring spirit, restless, piercing the veil of the spirit world and dreams, reaching for heights beyond his physical reach, but unleashing a call, a need to answer the highest guide. He felt the desires of the sacred, the secular, the sensual. The fusion came forward as vibration, as sound, as prayer, prophecy, as poetry, as song. He knew those who sing, pray twice, and he learned well the language of his double speak. He removed his armor and felt the ecstasy of love, the agony of loneliness, the pain of a broken heart, the violation of betrayal, and the deep remorse of grief. These became fodder for his fire and ignited the touch of his fingers to instruments to disturb us, move us, and pleasure us, as he let the story of his life become lessons for ours. He lived in the world and worked not to be a part of it as his heart became bigger. The desire and the need to nurture and grow the hearts offering our love around him sustained him until the pain of life became too much to bear. He was cool. Cool as ice is blue, and red hot too. It's no wonder he could produce purple rain, and this prince will reign forevermore. His leaving shocked us and pained us, and left his absence continues to inspire us, to encourage us, to endear us, to acquaint us with empathy, to convince us that we deserve better, and to assure us that our own feelings are valid. Our pain is transformative. Our fear should challenge us, and that in the end, the reward of love is worth the struggle. If he were here today, he might be hard to find actively working on the part of the people and conjugating love in all of its tenses. You can be sure he'll be making music and praying, love, come quick.
Come on now.
Get here in a hurry.
Come on.
There are thieves in the temple tonight. They don't care where they kick, just as long as they hurt you. There are thieves in the temple tonight. Love, won't you come and save me from all this cold despair? I don't care when you're around, but I'll surely die if you're not there. Love, come quick, get here in a hurry. There are thieves in the temple tonight. There are thieves in the temple tonight. There are thieves, thieves in the temple tonight. Love, come quick.
one more round of applause for all these wonderful poets. And we are going to transition to the open mics. So we have one person up on stage who is ready, but I know that you all have been working with your found poetry, so if anybody else would like to come up and read what you have created, or read anything else that you might have, please feel free to come up. Thank you, poets.
And sign up, we still got spots.
I'll take care of it. Have a great day. Take care. I have to go get
Okay, who's got a, I want to bring Smidge to the stage, please. Smidge or Laren to read your found poetry. Come on, Leo. Come through. We also have Nicole and Valentine. So please come up. And I got family in the audience. Hi, family. How y'all doing? Good to see y'all. So yeah, they're taking pictures right now. Please don't be shy. Come on up.
You're lucky that I just met up back. Where Apple got you because I quit. You should sign up for open
Okay, let's welcome Smidge, the microphone. All the Leos in the house, clap your hands.
So let me just say, this is so rare for me. I've always been a fan and a patron of spoken word, you know, and never would perform, right? Like I was a student of pizzazz and would go, you know, weekly, and I would never get on the stage, never. So this is a rarity, truly.
Wait, did you say pizzazz? Y'all in there? Oh my God.
So what was Denise saying? So there's some people in the, and I'm sure they're like, who is this getting on the stage? Anyway, so but I will not deny my new friend who I just met. And really has inspired me. So she gave us the lyrics, right, to some Prince songs and challenged us to make a poem on the spot. And again, I am not in any way, shape, or form a poet, and so I certainly said an amazing company. But when called, I will be obedient. Okay. So this is what I got. Okay. Honey, them hips is gone. This is what it sounds like. And I heard the rip when you sat down.
Yeah.
Now don't make me chase you. Let's lay down. I'm walking out of what to say. So I can work on that zipper, baby. You better be happy that dress is still on. I just can't wait to get my arms around you.
That sentimental ending, I didn't expect that. Thank you for that twist, that plot twist. Okay, Sheree is number 2. Please give it up for Sheree.
So I have 2 teeny poems about Prince, and then I'll read the. For Prince, my lion ready to war too, baby. For Prince too. Ooh, sha sha cuckoo, yeah. Or what the headline said. Eavesdropping. God is a diabetic and had to get that foot amputated. But we found some seeds. Some had 2, 3, even 6 eyes, you know. And we could hear God daydreaming. And then the Prince lines, it let me know I'd never seen the moon before.
Beautiful. I want to call up Nicole. Are you here? Yes, Nicole, welcome.
Pardon me. I had my phone in my armpit. And now, I wasn't planning to read, but Megan asked. Pushed me. That's the best way. All right, here we go. This poem, as I wasn't planning to read today, I'm selecting a poem that emphasizes the importance of music and traditions in the city. Embodiment. To be a girl's braid pre-wind, wound tight for the day, tied down and ribboned, proclaims a readiness to get to work, a desire to master naming. Covering the lagoon, green-headed birds float with their brown companions. I don't say Anas Platarincos because I don't know the Latin, but when I encounter their beauty, I still label mallard. To identify accurately has established merit. Thank God for doctors. Yes, learn to name, but do not stay. To encounter what is beyond a diagnosis. Chronic mellogenous leukemia is to walk the gravel next to who is in pain. Last week, 2 women with 5th graders enter hospice. 4 days ago, Pavel was murdered on the bit of grass between his house and the street. Tonight, on my drive home from the bakery, my mother calls to say the cousin who long ago showed me how to climb a sand pile has had a heart attack, has died. He is 2 years younger than I am. His twinkling wife, his 6 kids must face his woodworking tools, his unfinished projects. Funerals of both mothers stream online. A friend texts the name of each familiar song as it comes, texts a play-by-play of tender eulogy jokes, putting me there as I roll out pie, help customers make change. The walk from the church to the street with Pavel's friend, his husband, she said, back to work from Pavel's funeral, my business partner grasped for words to explain the walk from the church to the street with Pavel's friend, his husband. She says, tying her apron, now I understand the jazz funeral in my body. Everything we know comes in first through the senses. And what are we here for if not to walk the gravel path next to hurt, next to who is excluded? If your belly is full, give the best, become a keyless gate. If your belly is full or empty, untether from your own classifications, not for me, smarter than, addicted. Unloosen what has braided you, leave behind even the keyless gate, dance through the open field as unencumbered bird, then as air ongoing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Is Valentine here?
No, she's not now.
Welcome.
Sorry, I didn't get the rules because I showed up late. I showed up late because I went to a memorial for another poet. And it's like, leave one early, arrive to one late. You know, what are only choices? Okay, so I think the instruction is to take some of these Prince lines and make a poem? Yes. Okay.
Long girl.
And then do another poem? Okay. Let's see. An ocean of violets and bloom. Feel how it trembles inside. This is what it sounds like. That's the Prince poem. And do one of mine, right? Please. My daughter's thick, curling locks run wild about her head. She resists all efforts to tame it. I slide my fingers inside and let them dance in the waves. My mother's face is a sour lemon of discontent. She wants her granddaughter to do something with her hair. I slide my fingers inside and let them dance in the waves. My son speaks perfect English and fluent French. What? You trying to be white? The neighborhood children taunt. What? A brother can't be black and intelligent? He flings back. Boar bristles tame the baboon's rebellious tug, while my daughter's thick, curling locks run wild about her head. I slide my fingers inside and let them dance in the waves. My daughter's first baby doll was black. I searched all over the city for it. Clawed through boxes of brunettes, blondes, for brown skin. My daughter's second baby doll was black. I clawed through shelf after beige shelf for brown skin. Moved all the black dolls to the front in every store I went to. Want to guess what my daughter's third baby doll? By the time she got that first white doll, she had no need to remake her image. My daughter's thick, curling locks run wild about her head. I slide my fingers inside and let them dance in the waves. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Laren? Love how I just did that.
Yeah, but we brought some.
Educator, that's the educator in me. If I know you, you're coming up here. Where's Chris? Oh, you want to go next? Yeah?
Let somebody, yeah.
Are you ready? Yeah. So somebody's gonna come up before you, Laren, and then we'll have Chris after Laren. Let's give it up for Jada, please.
All right, so we did two in collaboration. I'll read the first one. Who's your collaborator? Ms. Huckabee. Okay. Dream if you can a courtyard. I can't understand the heat between me and you. It slows me down. This is what it sounds like. An ocean of violence in bloom. Or maybe it was my brain. The second one. Do you want to play? Can you, my darling? Feel how it trembles inside. I might be tempted to break the law around here. But I tell you, maybe you'd understand. I've never seen the moon look so lovely as the night I saw it with you.
Oh, thank you. You ready, Laren? Yeah. Give it up for Laren.
Like a cold winter dew in Montreal. If I had the chance to do it all again, out of all your friends, I want to be the closest. Does your daddy cry in my Paisley crib remind me of something James used to say. This is what it sounds like. Because your beauty, it gives one pause. Yes, it does. And the horses wonder who you are. Never seen them move before. God forbid if you belong to another, I'd have to steal you, take you from your man. They feel the heat and the glory forever and ever.
Woo! Thank you, Mary. Anybody in the back got one? You got one? No? You sure? When I read it, I thought it was good. You feeling shy right now? Oh. Well, thank you all so much. If there are no other, oh yeah, there's one more? Okay.
But it's not going to follow suit. I just made it come because I came late, so is that all right if I just read it? In honor
Is it all right? Yeah. If they want it, give them what they want. Regina Marie Serafina, welcome. Serafino, welcome Regina.
So this is my first poetry reading, and it's going to be very short. But I dedicate this to all the Geminis in my life. My mom, 111, my sister Misia, my husband Andy, and all the other Geminis who moved. Okay, and I'm going to say this. I am one of the founders of Crew of Cairo, and we're at our 6th or 7th year at St. Roch, December 24th. So everybody's welcome to come. And I also want to dedicate this to my high school teacher, Miss Khalil, who I was able to write a paper, and I'm not very good in English, but she gave me a great grade, and it was. When I say the poem, then you'll know. I also want to give a big shout out to MB. He is the Archangel of the Queen Seraphim. That's my IG. And Crew of Cairo does haiku. We're an intergenerational and international crew. One of the founders is Yoshitaka Yamagami, who survived Shanghai, Nagasaki, Katrina, Ida, COVID, and many more. He's still alive. He's 97 years old. And he has done a lot of work for our American government. He is our first American Fulbright Scholar. Yes. So here we go. Prince and Sheila E. Grateful, glamorous life, love. Aloha, Nola. And that's for my grandparents from Hawaii.
All right, last call for poets. Last call. Seeing none, I'll just do a few thank yous to close us out. Oh, you do? You're doing one?
No, I didn't.
Give the people what they want.
Somebody give me some slips of paper, and I'll just,
All right, thank you to Denise Frazier, curator extraordinaire, giving the people what they want all the time.
I guess not this time.
Not this time. To all the poets who read, give y'all a round of applause one last time. This reading is being filmed thanks to LitWire and Sean Monroe in the background. Thank you, LitWire. To the staff and at Three Keys and the Ace Hotel, Javon and Mark, thank you for making us sound good. To the Spirit Prince. Nothing compares to you. And last but not least, to all of you, because you could be anywhere on a Sunday, and you are here celebrating Prince and uplifting that spirit and keeping it alive. And we've got a packed house for a Saturday afternoon poetry reading. Sunday! Taking us to church, yes. A Sunday afternoon poetry reading. Thank you all so much for being here for the last event of Purple Takeover 2024, hosted by the incomparable DJ Frazier. And we'll see y'all next year.